very good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us on Newsroom series. I'm Dominic Iwiwu. Today we will be focusing on the northwestern region of the country. But before we get into that, let's take a look at national headlines. The National Assembly has passed the National Minimum Wage Act 2019. The bill, which scaled first, second, and third readings just minutes after it was transmitted by President Bola Tinubu, was instantly passed by the upper chamber. In a unanimous vote after a close consideration in the Committee of the Whole, the National Minimum Wage Bill scaled third reading and was passed. The President separately wrote the Senate and the House of Representatives requesting expedited consideration of a bill for an act to amend the National Minimum Wage Act 2019 to increase the national minimum wage from 30,000 naira to 70,000 naira. Meanwhile, a bill for an act to amend the Nigeria Police Act 2020 has also been passed by both chambers of the National Assembly. Senate. The bill enables a person appointed to the office of the Inspector General of Police to remain in office until the end of the term stipulated in their letter of appointment. It also aims to revolutionize police operation by enhancing accountability, modernizing policing methods, and fostering a harmonious relationship between the police and the community. The House of Representatives has passed the amended 2024 budget at 35.5 trillion naira, showing an increase from the 28.7 initial budget. The amendment sought by the President in his letter last week was 6.2 trillion naira. The 35.5 trillion naira passed shows an increase of 600 billion naira. The House also passed the Finance Act Amendment Bill, which provides for a windfall tax by banks and is expected to fund the amended budget. The Central Bank of Nigeria has again raised the monetary policy rate, which measures interest rates by 50 basis points from 26.25% to 26.75% amid soaring inflation and skyrocketing food prices. CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso announced this after the Apex Bank's 296th Monetary Policy Committee meeting in Abuja. The MPC adjusted the asymmetric corridor around the MPR from plus 100 to minus 300 to plus 500 to 100 basis points. The MPC also retained the cash reserve ratio of deposit money banks at 45% and merchant banks at 14% and retained the liquidity ratio at 30%. The Court of Appeal, Abuja, has declined to nullify the primary election that produced Asue Ugodalo as candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, for the impending governorship election in Edo State. In a unanimous decision by a three-man panel, the appellate court dismissed an appeal that was filed by the embattled deputy governor of the state, Philip Shuaibu. While dismissing the appeal for lacking in merit, the court said it found no reason to set aside the May 27 judgment of the Federal High Court in Abuja, which refused to invalidate the governorship primary election of the PDP conducted in Edo State based on the suit by the appellant. The appellate court also awarded a cost of 1 million naira against Mr. Shuaibu and in favor of the respondents in the matter. Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court Abuja had in his judgment of May 27th that was affirmed by the appellate court held that the Deputy Governor Shuaibu lacked the legal right to seek to nullify the outcome of the primary poll. Justice Omotosho held that he did not meet the condition precedent that would have conferred such legal rights on him. According to the court, no evidence was adduced to establish that they participated in the primary election he sought to nullify its outcome. Justice Omotosho held that it was a basic requirement of the law that a plaintiff must take part in a disputed election to be able to challenge its outcome in court. We start off in Zamfara State, Jigawa State, where Governor Umar Namadi of Jigawa State has warned that protesting against the government will not solve the country's growing problems. Governor Namadi made this statement at a stakeholders meeting at the government house in Dutse, the state's capital. According to him, Nigerians need to seek divine intervention as Nigeria's problems are beyond any government.
The issue of protest will not solve this problem. The protest will compound this problem, and all the participants has agreed with that. That is not a solution. And you have heard everybody has confirmed that he will do his best to ensure that this protest do not happen. So that is what we are saying. The ulamas has came up to say that they will do all their best in the mosque, and also the Christian are here. They also confess that they will do their best in the church, and also all the union leaders, all the student unions, all the labor unions, they will all agree that is not the best way to go. The best way is try to see what we can do to better the situation. And the only way we can do is to go back to Allah and repent. Once we go back to Allah and repent, Allah will definitely come to our aid. And we hope that, we pray that, inshallah, with the resolution of this stakeholders meeting, inshallah, we will be able to ensure that we have a peaceful Jigawa state and we have a peaceful Nigeria. This protest will not succeed by the grace of Allah.
Over in Zamfara State, the government says plans are underway to establish 9 special schools across the 3 senatorial zones in the state that will focus more on entrepreneurial, technical, and vocational education, beginning from the 2024 to 2025 academic session to produce manpower that can be self-reliant, economical, job creators, and contribute to national development. The Commissioner for Education, Science, and Technology, Wadatu Madawaki, gave the hint while speaking with journalists shortly after inspecting the ongoing renovation and upgrading of education infrastructure at Government Science Secondary School, Gusau, and the Zamfara College of Arts and Science, ZACAS.
The Zamfara State Governor, Dauda Lawal, has declared a state of emergency in the education sector to reverse the negative index of poor enrollment, academic performance, and huge statistics of out-of-school children.
Today, 14th November 2023, I declare a state of emergency on education in Zamfara State.
To match words with action, the state government is renovating and upgrading educational infrastructure to ensure a conducive teaching and learning environment for staff and students. The Zamfara State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Wadatu Madawaki, is at the Government Science Secondary School in Gusau at the Zamfara College of Arts and Science, ZACAS, to inspect the ongoing work in classrooms, dormitories, kitchens, hostels and libraries, among others, which are in the first phase of the project.
We have seen that the activity in the school has been divided into 2 phases. The first phase that we have seen, the student hostels, the dining area, and the staff quarters, which have been renovated and upgraded. And the next one, you have seen the work that's ongoing on the second phase, which are the classrooms, the laboratories, the administrative block, and other areas within the school area that are also ongoing. And we believe as we go into the holidays, this upgrading will be completed so that by the time the schools resume for the 2024-2025 academic session, all areas will be ready for effective utilization.
The Permanent Secretary of the State Ministry of Education commends the state government for revamping the education sector, which will enhance the quality of teaching and learning.
As you can see in ZACAS, the school is all the structures are dilapidated. So now we are renovating, the governor is renovating and constructing many. So we cannot say this is the exactly time, but definitely he promised to finish everything before at the end of this tenure, inshallah.
The students cannot hide their excitement as well.
We're kind of very happy when we saw ZACAS being renovated. You know, in Gusau, when you are being asked which school do you attend, if you say ZACAS, you kind of be laughed at that ZACAS is like an outdated school. Why do you go ZACAS? But kind of the way Governor Dauda and the provost and his deputy are trying to, you know, renovate the school, make it in order we are very happy, to be sincere. We came here to attend IGMB, but like we just feel like we don't want to go because the school is kind of now a very good place to study now. We are really enjoying the environment now, the way it has been renovated.
According to the commissioner, a total of 1.5 billion naira has been earmarked for the rehabilitation and reconstruction of classrooms and hostels of the two educational institutions in the state.
We move over to Kebbi State, where over 5 billion naira in TETFund funds was not assessed by tertiary institutions in Kebbi State. This was disclosed by the House of Representatives Committee on TETFund and Social Services during a courtesy visit to Kebbi State Governor.
The House of Representatives Committee on TETFund and Social Services, led by its chairman, Miriam Onoha, were at the council chambers of the Kebbi State Government House to inform him about their mission. Honorable Onoha stated that from 2020 to 2023, funds were held in the Central Bank of Nigeria and could not be accessed by institutions, and the delay affected project execution, which resulted to a loss of value due to inflation in the country.
Our mission is to diagnose, find out, and treat, so that where we need to rescope, where we need to redesign, where we need to reprice, the team is on hand to give assistance to ensure that these monies cease to be in the CBN, but become in the operative accounts of the beneficiary institutions to continue to support His Excellency in his mandate to deliver quality and affordable education to the people of Kebbi State and indeed Nigeria.
The committee also appealed to the state government to support state-owned tertiary institutions with need assessment to ensure participatory planning for assessing the funds.
While commending your usage of the academic staff training and development for Kebbi State-owned institutions, the committee would like you to furnish us with the breakdown in details of the beneficiaries of the academic staff training and development from 2020 to 2023 in the following manner: list of beneficiaries with their contact details, institutions of study, the course of study, like PhD, so that during our oversight and budget performance later in the year, we can now take a look at how you have used the monies from 2020 to 2024 in the areas of physical infrastructure, entrepreneurship, project maintenance, ICT support, library development, academic staff training and development, institution-based research, publication of journal, conference attendance, manuscript development, equipment fabrication, and teaching practice, respectively.
On his part, the Kebbi State Governor, Dr. Nasir Idris, informed the committee that his administration places high premium on education as it has invested heavily in addressing structural decay in some schools, as well as covering tuition fees for students studying in tertiary institutions across the country.
We have invested a lot, and TETFund is complementing to the effort of various government, federal, and state government. Because, without this intervention of TETFund, we will have missed so many things, and we cannot be able to address so strongly our challenges as far as education is concerned. When they have visited me, I told them I have invested more than 10 billion naira within 1 year in boys in the education.
The oversight visit of the committee focuses on how study grants for lecturers and infrastructural expenditures of TETFund beneficiary institutions have been utilized in Kebbi State.
Welcome back. Following a successful Hajj exercise this year, the Kebbi State government has bagged 3 meritorious awards from Saudi Arabia. This was announced by the chairman of the State Pilgrims Welfare Agency, Alhaji Farouk Aliyu, when he led the board members and management staff of the agency to a courtesy call on the governor at the government house in Birnin, Kebbi. Kebbi State and the governor received an award for the best Hajj airlift exercise, an excellent feeding arrangement, and peaceful conduct of pilgrims during the Hajj period among all Nigerian states. After winning the awards, Governor Nasir Idris passed the vote of confidence on the board and management staff of the agency.
In the whole country, we are number one. We went there together with our pilgrims. We have seen things by ourselves. We don't need to ask anybody what has transpired in Saudi Arabia as far as our pilgrims are concerned. The area of transportation, accommodation, feeding, and the general welfare of our pilgrims is excellent. And Hajj is associated with some challenges. And even with that, the leaders that we entrusted to take care of our people from home up to Saudi Arabia have done well, and they are alive to their own responsibility.
The Federal Housing Authority has announced the construction of the Renewed Hope mass houses for medium and low-income earners in August 2024 with a groundbreaking ceremony in Kaduna State. The managing director of the authority, Mr. Oyetunde Ojo, disclosed this during a 3-day retreat for staff of the agency in Kaduna State. Meanwhile, the state government expresses the administration's commitment to providing affordable houses for citizens.
Management and staff of the Federal Housing Authority are holding this retreat as part of efforts to address the housing deficit in the country. The theme, enhancing the Federal Housing Authority for improved housing solutions in the era of renewed hope, is a bid by the agency to fashion out strategies to effectively deliver on President Bola Tinubu's vision for the housing sector.
In everything, Kaduna State has become another home. To reciprocate this gesture, sir, and our management has approved that we will kickstart our renewed housing construction with a groundbreaking ceremony in Kaduna State. And that, I can tell you, in the next 1 month, we will kickstart that.
According to the federal government, the nation's housing deficit currently stands at 38 million housing units, and the federal government is estimating that 21 trillion naira is required to address the challenge. However, data from the Central Bank of Nigeria indicates that only 10% of Nigerians aspiring to own homes can do so. The Kaduna State government is committing to providing affordable and safe houses for citizens.
Devising effective strategies to address housing deficits at both federal and state levels has become an urgent and strategic necessity. Distinguished participants at this retreat, it is important to understand that enhancing efficiency and effectiveness of the Federal Housing Authority will require a collaborative effort from each and every one of you. In Kaduna State, providing affordable housing for our residents is a key priority of our administration. We are dedicated to addressing the housing deficit in Kaduna in line with not only our administration's policy thrust, but also President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda.
Next month, the Renewed Hope Estates project should commence in the state, and the Federal Housing Authority is willing to partner with the Kaduna State government to ensure a smooth take-off of the project.
We move to agriculture as a deadly crop disease known as fall armyworm has hit maize and rice farms in various parts of Kaduna State, raising concerns among the farmers about yield losses. Described by the Kaduna State Agricultural Development Agency as a major threat to the nation's food security, the fall armyworm is an invasive and destructive pest that threatens a wide range of crops, including maize, rice, sorghum, and vegetables.
As the rainy season begins nationwide, farmers are actively planting maize, rice, sorghum, and vegetables, particularly in the north. However, this pest, the fall army worm, first detected in Nigeria in 2016, poses a serious threat to food security, with many farms in Kaduna State already affected. Experts warn that the highly invasive and destructive caterpillar from the Americas can spread quickly due to abundant host plants, a fast reproductive cycle, and long-distance dispersal. Farmers like Kabiru Abba fear for their crops and livelihoods.
The cause is short of rainfall. As you can see, there is a lack of rainfall. So this disease, it's always whenever there is shortage of rain, there are insects, birds that used to penetrate into corn, and the production rate is used to go down. So this is how we are suffering with this lack of treatment.
However, the Kaduna State government says it's already doing something about it, as the State Agricultural Development Agency, in collaboration with the National Agricultural Extension and Research Liaison Services, is training farmers and extension agents on managing and controlling this invasive pest.
To control and prevent is the key and is critical. So it's more or less an epidemic, that if you are slow about handling it, it will get to everyone gradually, slowly, but it will surely evolve, and affect every one of us. So we don't want it to happen that. So we take this job with all sense of seriousness, I feel generally, and with all sincerity of purpose, knowing fully well that if we do it right, we are protecting our own farmland.
For us as a country, we have at stake 12 million metric tons of maize that can be destroyed significantly by polar mildew. We are 229 million people who must feed. So every damage that the polar mildew causes is a minus from our food balance. I hope you understand this point. Yes. So the work that you are doing is very critical.
In a program designed as a Train the Trainers package, these participants, known as spraying gangs, are set to train farmers at the grassroots and distribute free pesticides to rural farmers.
As a state, the governor gave a very prompt directive where we purchased all the insecticides and distributed to all the local governments. And the training today is in partnership with the research institutes from ABU, NERLS, and IAR. They are all here training our trainers who will go. You can see the spraying gang that we just left in the hall.
It's both a state, a national, and a continental menace, and it has strong potential to significantly affect output of our farmers in Kaduna State. So what the Kaduna State government is doing is what we are embracing.
The Kaduna State Agricultural Development Agency has also provided farmers with herbicides, pesticides, personal protective kits to spray their farms against the invasive army worms.
We head over to Katsina State, where the state government has approved the payment of retirement benefits to all the retired civil servants who retired from 2020 to August 2023. The payment of the retired benefits, which will commence with immediate effect, is expected to last for 6 months. Already, a committee has been set up to verify the estimated amounts payable to those that are entitled to pay.
I wish to inform you that His Excellency has just granted another approval for payment of gratuity to the retired civil servants. We paid only for the dead, those that died within the period. So now His Excellency decided to pay every other, that is the living civil servants from 2020 to August 2023. His Excellency has approved payment of their entitlements. Already, the committee has gone around and verified and estimated the total amount payable to those that are entitled to be paid. As far as the state workforce civil servants are concerned, the sum of 8 billion 052 861 731 4 kobo is the total liability, total amount payable to the civil servant, that is the living civil servant, from January 2020 to August 2023. And the total sum of 10 billion 373 901 506 87 kobo is the total amount payable to the staff of local governments and those of the local education authorities. So, His Excellency granted approval that the payment of retirement benefits of gratuity of the liberal civil servants should be effected for 6 months.
And that's where we put it a wrap on Newsroom series. I'm Dominic Ibiwu. Stay safe.